Welcome back to the sprinkler channel. Today we're going to be going over changing out sprinkler nozzles and filters so that way they're functioning properly as we see here. So let's take a look at one that's not functioning properly. This one is not spraying out the distance that it should be spraying, and we can see that the grass in the areas are getting dried out a lot because they're not getting the water that they needed. And so we're going to see what the issue is and why they aren't spraying like they should be. So let's turn off the sprinklers and undo the nozzles and see what exactly is going on with this. So then there's also this other one that you can see on each side. There's one the sprinkler head spraying correctly, but this one right here has zero amount of water coming out of it, even though it's pops up, so there's water pressure there, but no water's coming out of the nozzle. So as we can see here, all the filters for the sprinkler nozzles are getting clogged with debris that's passing through the water and getting filtered. And especially this last one, you can see that it's almost completely clogged and therefore not letting much water pass through. And then we can see the one that wasn't spraying any water at all has a clogged nozzle right here. That's what the clogged nozzle looks like. And to compare it to one that's not clogged, here's another one. You can see the port is free of any debris, unlike the last one. So we're gonna get some new nozzles for that one, get some new filters, and here we go. So I'll just use my finger now to pry up the sprinkler head and gain access to it, pull it up out of the body. And then with one hand, we'll unscrew it. I'm actually using my foot here to put pressure against the stem of the sprinkler nozzle to make sure it doesn't retract from the spring that wants to make it retract back into the body. So we'll take off the nozzle, install the new filter here, and then we'll install a new nozzle on this one because this was the nozzle that was clogged. So we're just going to install a new Rainbird half spray that sprays 10 feet. So on the top it'll say 10H. And the dash marks right here show you exactly where it's going to be spraying out the 180 degrees. So once we get the nozzle on tight, then we'll just crank it as we squeeze the stem, crank it around to where it's going to be spraying the 180 degrees that we need towards the grass section. And then you can just drop it, let it retract. So the next one you can see also very clogged filter, but here we actually have to like push back the grass to be able to even gain access to the sprinkler head. And then once again use the fingernails to kind of pry it up, unscrew it, and we already removed the dirty filter, so we'll just take a new filter. And lo and behold, this one actually slips out of our hands. So now what do you do when it's retracted? You can't get to it. So we'll just go ahead, make sure no debris gets inside there so it doesn't clog the new filter, and we'll just drop the new filter down into the sprinkler like that. And then we'll take the existing nozzle that's still good to use even though it's used, and we'll screw it on as much as we can like this, and then we'll pry it back up and then finish screwing the nozzle back on tightly. And then after that, then we'll crank it like we did the other ones to get those dashes on top to be facing the area that we actually want the sprinkler head to be spraying, which is that 180 degrees. And even though it's not right next to the curb, it'll still cover enough water coverage to do that. So you can definitely see this one's totally clogged, and that's why barely any water is getting out of this one. So, and onto this last one, it's probably the most clogged, as you can see between the two, the new and the old. So once again, we'll pull back the grass that's growing over the sprinkler head, use the fingernails to get underneath the edge of it and pull it up, so that way we can unscrew the sprinkler nozzle. So just like that, lift it up. The spring will want to pull it back down, but we'll just go ahead and unscrew just the nozzle and put that to the side. Grab the new filter, and here we're putting pressure perpendicular to the head so that way it doesn't retract. And once we install the filter here, then we're just going to screw the existing nozzle back on because it was still good and not clogged like the first one. And then we just need to crank it back around, make sure the dash marks are facing away from the concrete, and even if it does slip out of your hands here, we'll just lift it back up and keep cranking it until it's facing the right direction, and you should be all set to go. You can let it go and retract, and there you have it. You have all your sprinklers replaced with new filters. Throw away all these clogged ones. They're useless now. So, and then you can turn your sprinklers back on, and you're going to see that all of them are operating like they should be, throwing the full 10-foot distance that needs to be done, and now hopefully the grass can recover with the water, getting the water that it needs. So, hope that helps.